Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another assembly here for you. I'm going to get a bit sciencey today. We like science? I've got some experiments to try. Get a little bit messy, and I've decided it's not very easy to show experiments on these, but this one I think I can hold. What I'm going to do, I've got a little glass here. Here I've got some bicarbonate of soda. And I'm going to put a little bit of the bicarbonate of soda in the bottom there. And then I've got a little bit of food colouring, maybe a little bit of, or just a bit of yellow food colouring maybe in there. It looks a bit red. Right, that's my food colouring. My bicarbonate of soda is in there. Now, here comes the magic ingredient. Do you know what this is? Vinegar. Do you know what might happen if I add in a vinegar to my bicarbonate of soda? She says, hopefully, if I can open it up. Okay, right, let's pour it in. Oh, can you see? And it's going right over the top. It's changed, hasn't it? It's kind of created a little, I do like my explosive thing. That's making a right old mess. That is a very quick reaction there between the vinegar and the bicarb of soda, causing this lovely yellow fountain explosion. Now, how about this next one? This one's the tasty one. I've got here a plate of Skittles, and I've just put them all around the edge of the Skittles. Now, what I'm going to do is pour in a little bit of water into the middle. So I'm going to just move my camera down so you can see what I'm doing. No vinegar in this one, right. Okay, so my Skittles at the edge, and then I need some water, just a little bit into the middle of the plate. Oh, didn't do that very well. Right, okay, and now I'm going to leave that there for a mo. I'm going to talk to you about my third experiment. Move that to the side. Right, this is my third experiment. You need 5 cups of water for this one. 3 of them you're going to fill high, and 2 only a small amount of water. And then we get our food colouring again. And I'm going to put some yellow, put that into the middle. So my yellow one's gone nice, middle one's gone nice and yellow. I've got some red. I'm going to put that over here into this one. And you can try this at home if you check with your parents first. I've got a bit of blue as well. I'm going to put that one on the end one here. Lovely. So, looking nice and colourful. Give it a little bit of a stir. Right, now what I do now is I'm going to take some bits of kitchen roll. And I just twisted it a little bit like this, put it into this shape here. And I'm going to put it into so that it's touching both bits of water in each of my cups. And then I'm going to put a little one in from there to there. Lovely. And I'm going to put a little one from here to here. And I need one more. And that last one goes from here to here. And I wonder if you can have a think about what might happen in this one. Well, this one takes a little bit longer, so I'm going to have to come back to this one maybe later on. But in the meantime, can we see? So I'm going to move these just slightly out of the way. Can we see what has happened to my lovely plate of Skittles? Look at that, how pretty is that? Ooh. It's changed the water, hasn't it? It's gone all beautiful and colourful. Now, I think if we come back later, my other experiment might also have changed. So I've shown you 3 experiments there. One where something changed really quickly. One where it changed bit slower, and then another one which I think is going to take quite a lot of time to change. But let's come back and see what has gone on with that one. Okay, well, it's now a few hours later, and let's see what has happened with our slow changing experiment. What do you think might have happened? Any ideas? Well, you'll see that instead of being two empty ones, the colours have now moved over, haven't they? So we have got our blue and our yellow have mixed to this sort of greeny sort of colour. The colour has travelled up. The red and this yellow have mixed here into a sort of an orangey, although this one looks a bit orangey. Colours don't look the best, but they've changed, hasn't they? But this one has taken quite a long time to change. So we've gone from our quick explosion of yellow, our quick-ish change of our Skittles, and our quite slow change of our coloured water here. Now, this makes me think about how we can change, and maybe how, with a bit of God's help, we can change as well. Now, there is a man in the Bible who starts off when we meet him called Saul, and he was enemy number one to the Christians, to the young church just after Jesus had died. They're enthusiastic, they're trying to get the church to grow and tell everyone about what Jesus did. But they're being squashed down, and Paul in particular, as Saul as he was called, was really persecuting, really being mean to these Christians. He was making sure they were all thrown in jail or worse. And then one day he was off to Damascus to do a little bit more Christian bashing. And on the road as he travelled along, a bright light, dazzling light from the skies came down. So bright, he fell to his knees in blindness. And then a voice came out of heaven and said, "Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me?" So persecuting, why are you having a go at me, really? And he said, "Who is it?" And he said, "It is I, the Lord, who you persecute." It was God speaking out so that Saul could even hear him on the road. Well, that changed everything for Saul. He got up, couldn't see, he was blinded, but he walked and continued his journey on. And his friends helped him, and he was told to go and see a man called Aeneas, who was a Christian. And Aeneas prayed for him, and his sight came back. It was restored. And there was an amazing change in Saul. One thing is he changed his name from Saul to Paul. But more than that, he became a completely different person. Rather than wanting to squash out all the Christians that he could find, he actually wanted to build up the church. He travelled all around the Mediterranean. He went off to Rome. He got into big trouble himself. He would end up in prison. He would be shipwrecked. But it didn't stop him from wanting to tell everyone about Jesus and about the powerful God. And he wrote letters to churches, and they form part of the Bible that we have today. So that was an example of a really quick, dramatic change. And a bit like our exploding bicarb fountain, there was a really quick change of heart, which God brought out of Paul. But sometimes our changes that God wants to see in our lives are just slowly things that change, a bit like our little coloured glasses here. You know, maybe there's something that you would like to change about the way you behave or you feel. Maybe you'd like to be a bit more joyful, or a bit more patient, or a little more kind. And these are these little changes that we can ask God's Spirit to help us with. And just like a little chisel and a hammer, like a sculptor, He can make those changes, maybe slowly, maybe quickly, in our lives if we ask Him. So guys, that is it for this week's assembly. I hope you've enjoyed that. But before I go, I just want to do a little shout out plug for my youth club that I run called Jam. I run it now every Monday, and we hold it here in Peterston at the Chapel's Hall. And we have great fun times playing games. I do something a bit like these assemblies, and then we make some cool crafts. And we're doing some great Christmas things in the next run up to Christmas. Today, we made these lovely Christmas decorations. So if you're interested, there's details on this week's newsletter, so tell your parents. We'll see you again soon. Bye.